This here is the all-new Hyundai Staria, technically a replacement for the old Grand Starex over there, but as you can see, this is in a whole different stratosphere. With this, Hyundai is setting its sights on the luxury or premium MPV market, currently dominated by the Toyota Alphard and Vellfire. So does this have what it takes to go against the car of choice among Malaysian VIPs? Spare a few minutes to find out. Let's start off with the looks, because this literally looks out of this world. Hyundai says this was inspired by spaceships, and just looking at it, you can really see the reference. In terms of sheer visual presence alone, this looks like nothing else on the road today. The whole face is dominated by, I'm not sure if I should call it a grille or a mouth, and better yet, you can choose between this dark chrome or a copper-like brass chrome version, which, if you pair with a darker color, looks absolutely stunning. That's available at no extra cost to you. So the top line over here is the DRLs, and the center line over here connecting the two are the positioning lamps. The headlamps are actually within the big grille down here. The whole rounded shape of this car kind of reminds me of the egg-shaped original Toyota Altima my family had in the early 90s. But the visual bizarreness of this car looks even more prominent because of the sheer size of it. Now, I don't have to tell you this, but this is an absolute mammoth of a car. It's bigger than the Grand Starex from every dimension, and it's over 5.2 meters long. That's about the same as a pickup truck like a Ford Ranger. But of course, the visual mass of this is even larger because this is a full-body MPV. And as you can see, more than half of the body is fully covered in glass. I think this car alone will single-handedly change all our local tint shops to have a separate price class. They'll go from hatchback, sedan, MPV, SUV, Staria. At the back here, the visual appeal of the Staria gets knocked back a little bit because here it's very clear that this is based on a van. Now, Hyundai makes various versions of the Staria, from a minibus to a panelled van, so for the look to also work on a luxury MPV is a bit of a stretch. But having said that, is not without unique features. I do like these parametric LED tail lamps, which look really cool when lit up, and the lamp housing extends beyond the body for, I don't know, I guess aerodynamic purposes or something. The rear wiper is also neatly tucked under the roof spoiler, so it doesn't look as bad as those, cheap looking MPVs in the middle here. Just like the outside, the Staria's interior is one of the more unique ones I've seen yet. This is a very futuristic design, it's extremely spacious, but I think it falls a little bit short of feeling luxurious or premium, I think. Here, the Staria's van roots are a bit hard to miss, especially with all these extra cubby holes on top. But the biggest offender has to be this open cup holder at the top. That is clearly designed for a commercial vehicle driver. But put that aside, this is still a very well-appointed cabin. Build quality feels surprisingly good, and the top left part of the dashboard is nice to the touch as well. Beyond that, the mix of material over here is really outstanding. First of all, the seats are covered in a really nice and smooth Nappa leather, and the top headlining, that's suede, together with the entire door card. This is the first time I've seen entire door cards covered in this material. While I'm not sure if I can stand the messy look of it, I think it feels glorious. One cool thing about this being a fully imported model, you can fully customize the interior, even choosing blue leather seats. The Staria has nice features inside as well, including this. It's almost a freestanding instrument cluster that's not hooded, and despite that, it's still very legible even with the sun on top. In the middle here is an 8-inch touchscreen system together with a wireless Apple CarPlay, and down here is a wireless charger for your smartphone for a truly wireless experience. Here is a very modern looking gear selector, which you can also find in other Hyundai models. And beyond that, you've also got very large buttons over here to control the heated or ventilated front seats, as well as the aircon. You can also control the rear air conditioning from here, which is very nice. Another highlight is the 12-speaker Bose audio system on this car, even though the speaker grills are somewhat covered in suede as well, which looks a bit weird, but it sounds pretty decent. Getting in the back can be a bit of a struggle because the step up is a little bit high, especially for young kids or older people. But once you're inside, the space available is absolutely staggering. In the middle here, the captain seats, or rather the boss seats, are extremely comfortable. These are wider than the ones in front, and I think for longer journeys, these will be extremely joyous. As to be expected from a car like this, you've got powered controls for every angle of the seat, and there's also a single touch button for a full relaxed mode. Just press it once, and yeah, it feels like a business class airplane seat in the back here. Very nice, very cool. The space in the Staria is so massive that even in the most reclined position, you can still seat an adult behind the last row. Now on to things that I think are not very good. Number one, the roof-mounted aircon vents. These are really nice in blowing cold air straight to your face, but they just look a little bit too much like aircon vents from a van, which technically it is. Number two, the aircon controls in the back here is on the wrong side. It's on the right side instead of on the left, where the so-called bosses are going to be seated in. Now for the absolute worst bit, the side windows. Believe it or not, they are manually operated. Now no boss is going to think that is a cool thing, being reminded of, sitting in a bus or a van or something. Hyundai makes 11, 9 and 7-seater configurations of the Staria. Here in Malaysia, for now we are only getting the most luxurious, the most spacious 7-seater option, at least for now. As you would have guessed from the outside, the interior is absolutely massive. You can definitely seat 7 full-size adults in the back here, no problem at all, and this is definitely bigger than a comparable Alphard or Vellfire. Particularly for the last row, this is much wider than the Toyota, so you can sit 3 adults behind here without any issues, even for long distance journeys. And even the seats are fairly comfortable. You don't feel like you're in the cheap seats at all. As for practicality, the Staria comes into its own because this is based on a van after all. The flexibility here is excellent. With all the seats up, you can get up to 431 liters of space. But once you start folding the rear seats down, it becomes a true blue multi-purpose vehicle. As for safety, the Staria comes fully equipped with Hyundai SmartSense Active Safety Suite. This includes autonomous emergency braking, adaptive cruise control with stop and go function, as well as active lane keep assist. There's also a blind spot and safe exit monitor that stops the door opening if it detects there's a car coming. Beyond that, there are 6 airbags, electronic stability control, but only 2 ISOFIX mounts in the center row. Under the hood is Hyundai's very well-regarded 2.2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine. Here it makes 177 PS and 431 Newton meters of torque. All that is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission powering the front wheels. That is a significant change over the rear-wheel drive Grand Starex. This being a turbo diesel means it has a big torque advantage compared to the Toyota's naturally aspirated engines, especially in the lower rev range. And of course, fuel economy will be excellent whether you're driving in town or going long distance. But for outright performance, this is not a rocket ship despite the way it looks. 0 to 100 takes 12.4 seconds and top speed is 185 kilometers per hour. Now lastly, let's talk about the price, because here the Staria is a bit of a shocker. It's priced at 359,000 ringgit, and that is only with the base 2-year warranty. If you want the extended 5-year warranty together with a 3-year free service package, that's an additional 10,000 ringgit. And at 370,000, this car is priced directly against the Toyota Vellfire. So no, this is not a budget-priced alternative to the big boys. This is priced head-on against the Toyota. How you feel about that will depend very strongly on how much you think the badge up front is worth. Strictly on paper, however, the Staria has every measure of the Toyota Alphard and Vellfire. Whether it sells well or not, this is a very strong statement from Hyundai that it's here, it's a premium option, and is ready to play with the big boys. So what do you think of the new Hyundai Staria? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and stay safe, everyone.